We are back, and Pam, during the break, you said something that was actually brilliant. We all want to hear it.
Well, I think, I've been here now for 10 years, and when I first came to the clinic, we were sort of in silos. We worked together, and we were going to solve the problem, and nobody else was going to help us. And I think as the years have gone, I've realized that you can't solve the problem by yourself. You need to have help when we need to go to the community. And funding, we all ask the same sources for funding, which we are incredibly appreciative of. But at some point, that funding might dry up. And if we're not all together working together for the patient, we're not going to be able to survive as a nonprofit. And so that's why it's so wonderful that these two organizations have agreed to work together, and we have others in the pipeline that are trying to work together with us so that we all are one unit in solving these problems.
You're creating your village.
That's exactly
right.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Missy, and let's talk a little bit about the legal piece of this, because I think, again, the tentacles are way more broad than even I recognize.
So we've been shocked how well it's been going just at the start. 2024 is our true kickoff. I think Pam would agree with that, but we've got our medical legal partnership attorney in place, Hannah. She's good to go. So essentially, we just want to address the needs of low-income patients, which would normally be our low-income clients that may or may not know about us, may not have access to us. It might be scary, it might be inconvenient. So we want to take a lot of those barriers away.
What exactly do you do? I think for me, I feel like I'm somewhat educated and I'm not sure. Who is your client and what are the services that you provide?
I appreciate you asking that very much so. So Legal Volunteers provides free legal services. It could be an abuse situation, it could be family law matters, child support,
Got it.
Eviction defense, people facing evictions, as we've heard of oftentimes with housing issues.
And it is scary, and it is intimidating.
It's super scary. Yeah, it's very frightening when you're faced with that circumstance. And you may not be even comfortable going for legal help. You might not think you can afford legal help. And we want to be there for those folks and say, hey, here's a friendly face here in your clinic where you're already comfortable coming and seeking medical care, and maybe we can treat that legal issue that you're facing.
How exactly do we do that with the three of you? So let's say someone comes into you for medical treatment.
Well, I think Anne hit the point just a minute ago. She said they feel comfortable. Our patients feel comfortable.
Okay. So they have a relationship with
They trust us, or they trust Courtney's group, or they trust Anne's group, and then if they refer to another agency, the idea is, well, they must be good because these people have taken care of me, and now they're sending me somewhere else.
So a patient comes in and is asking questions, and your practitioners are saying, I am just curious. It sounds to me like this might be something that either Courtney or Anne can help with. And that is how that handoff would occur? What's the actual process?
Well, there are a couple of ways. We do patient intake, and during patient intake, we make sure that the patient is qualified financially, for one thing, and then we start to ask questions. And then we might find out, well, where are you living? Well, they might stumble a little bit and start to explain to us what a problem is, and then we can refer them to Anne. Or, well, we haven't eaten in so many days, or I only have food for my children and not myself, and so then we can send them to Courtney. So those are some of the questions.
Is there someone who helps navigate and sort of is the point person then for that client?
Well, we have a community health worker that we have gotten through AmeriCorps, and it's a federal grant. Well, it's an AmeriCorps grant rather to the South Carolina Free Clinic Association, and then 11 free clinics have received community health workers, and this is one. And you have a community health worker, don't you?
Right. So we call it our intake specialist. They're actually we say they're our air traffic controller, right? So every incoming call, walk in, they're kind of triaging and figuring out what's next. And then we have 2 client advocates, social workers on our team who start kind of peeling back the layers and asking those questions.
And let me just ask this, if language is a barrier, is there someone who can address that?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think everybody's teams have bilingual folks. We have a couple of bilingual paralegals on staff who are happy to work with folks. And then we have bilingual volunteer because we're a volunteer-based organization with a small staff.
Amazing.
So that there's such a need there. So we're ready to serve those folks.
We're going to take another quick break, and we're going to come back. And Courtney, if you can share with us a little bit about Bluffton Self-Help. So stay with us. We'll be right back.